merhabalar. Yanımda Profesör Mark Kennedy var. George Washington Üniversitesi'nden kendisiyle özellikle Türkiye ile ilgili güzel bir sohbete başlayacağız. Thank you very much, Professor, for coming today to New York from Washington, D.C. It's a pleasure to have you in New York for a change, right?
It is great to be here. It's a winter wonderland here in New York, so if you like cold, this is a good place to be.
True. And I'd like to start with something warm, summer. This past summer in August, GW had an amazing initiative, and you were the architect of that. And it was done amazingly, beautifully with all these exchanges. Can you tell us about it? How did it go?
Well, we brought 18 students to Istanbul in August to really study how does government work there, not just in Istanbul, but in the broader region, because our students need to know not just how politics works in Washington. We're the first and foremost school of applied politics at the Graduate School of Political Management at George Washington University. But now we're beginning to go out to important regions of the world, and the Istanbul trip, engaging with a variety of folks within Istanbul, was very informative and very enjoyable.
I'm so happy, and Bloomberg HT was part of it.
They were, and it was great to have them and get their view as to how they see the world, which is a very important angle.
Yes, and the second part of our conversation, I want to talk to you about what's next. You always sign amazing, great, successful projects. What is next? I know you have tons of meetings planned ahead for this year. Can you tell us about one that interests also Turkey?
Well, one of those is I'm focused personally a lot on the trade issue, and I just got back from Bali, Indonesia, where the World Trade Organization passed for the first time as the World Trade Organization a major deal, $1 trillion deal that will help expand trade around the world, largely by reducing the red tape across borders. And that means that trade is beginning to move again. So things like the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, which are important for Turkey, or the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which are in many ways competing with this, are things that listeners and viewers in Turkey should be paying attention to.
And why is it important to Turkey?
Because if you look at the customs union that Turkey has with Europe, that's very important. But now this is going to be really a trade agreement between the United States and Europe. Turkey wants to be included in that. Everybody I meet in Turkey says, we want to be included in that. U.S. and Europe are just still now sort of trying to figure out, can we reach an agreement? And they haven't really turned their attention to, should Turkey be in this as well? So I think it is important on behalf of Turkey to keep a close eye on this, to make sure at the right inflection point that they get included in an overall deal.
What does Turkey need to do to be included?
I think what they need to do is they need to be continuing to keep the channels open with people on both sides of the Atlantic, the U.S. and the European Union. Their largest trading partner in Turkey has long been European Union. European Union trades 10 times as much with Turkey as with the United States, in part because the customs union prevents them from having a trade agreement with the United States. This could be a great opportunity for a closer relationship between the United States and Turkey, which is why I've long been an advocate of let's get this deal done, and let's get this deal done with Turkey.
But does it need lobbying? Did you talk to the leaders in Turkey as well? Because this needs to be heard, but we need a more proactive stand in this and approach to be included. Realistically, can we be included?
I think you can be included, and I do agree it takes a proactive stance. There is a degree of proactive stance going on. Our group did meet with Egemen Baş while we were there, which, as you know, is your minister to the European Union. Whether or not you ever get in the European Union is sort of one question, but this is an important question in that overall sphere of saying we're part of the customs union, we want to stay part of the deal with U.S. as well through the European Union. So in the sphere of relationships with Europe, this is something that needs to be leaned forward for Turkey. And from everybody I talk to, there is a high degree of interest, and that high degree of interest needs to, as you say, have lobbying. Have lobbying in Europe, have lobbying in America. Don't forget us here in Turkey. We want to be a part of this. And everybody I talk to has that interest, but they need to make sure that they keep pressing that issue so it does not get lost in the shuffle.
This transatlantic TTIP, right? Am I saying it right?
TTIP, right.
TTIP is actually a little baby of Obama's administration. We could say he initiated it. It was started earlier, but he's pushing it a little more. So what is the deadline from the U.S.'s point here?
Well, there's a deadline, and it may or may not be met. As you know, the European Union is going to be having a new 5-year, the Commission's going to be replaced next year. The Commissioner of Trade in the European Union would love to have this done in this Commission. That's pretty ambitious because at the same time, the U.S. is negotiating the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is frankly a little bit further ahead on the discussions. The other thing that we have in America that's vitally important is the giving the president trade promotion authority. Every president since FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, has had it. It's difficult to pass Congress because what it does is it gives authority from Congress to the president saying, if you bring us a trade deal, we won't modify it. We'll just say yes or no to the overall deal. And that's hard for Congress to give that up. It's a tough battle. That battle hasn't happened in America, but that battle is just beginning to go.
It's beginning, and we cannot miss the boat. You're right.
Cannot.
And thank you so much for putting a light to this. And also, are you planning any other visit to Turkey in the near future? And if yes, what is that related to? Other than the TTIP, I want to move to the other subjects now because you're amazing in terms of also promoting the education, the financial bridges, the connection between the two countries.
Well, I have classes in Hong Kong in January, in Sao Paulo in March before I get back to Istanbul again in August. But I will be bringing another group of students from George Washington University's Graduate School of Political Management in August. Plus, I continue to teach at the Koç University Graduate School of Business, so I'll be back again in early September to teach that for the third year in a row.
And I hope to see you there. I'm planning to go to Turkey as well. Thank you so much for coming, and
Great.
thank you very much for your valuable insights and information, feedback as well. Thank you, Professor.
Good to be with you.
Evet, sohbetimiz burada sona erdi. Söz tekrar sizde İstanbul'da.